like grown-ass men trying to jump me. Yeah, mine was complete self-defense. I just grabbed the first thing that was on the ground. We start this, you mind hitting the anthem? Yeah. Alright, I'm about to do the starters now, so we should go live in a minute. What? Live, so we go. Oh, okay. Alright. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to CCBC Essex, as we are going to send things over to our PA announcer in one moment for the starting lineups for today's game between Union County and your CCBC Essex Knights. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we'd like to introduce you to the game starters, beginning with our visitors from Union County. At midfield, number 2, Alexis Garcia. At long stick midfield, number 4, Jarrett Luema. At attack, number 10, Jamal Almari. At defense, number 12, Anthony Gargiles. At attack, number 13, Brandon Haynes. At defense, number 14, Ryan Baum. At attack, number 15, Miles Ackerson. At midfield, number 16, Stephen Gillespie. At defense, number 18, Alan Melick. And starting in goal for the Owls, number 3, Dale DeSantis. The Owls are led by head coach Jay Rousey. And now, the starting lineup for your CCBC Essex Knights. At face-off, number 4, James Chase. At attack, number 10, Joshua Shelfie. At defense, number 11, Brandon Stresdauskas. At midfield, number 13, Kyle Christensen. At defensive midfield, number 18, Dawson Porter. At midfield, number 22, Timothy Ross. At defense, number 25, Hunter Privet. At long stick midfield, number 26, Colin Brown. Attack, number 30, Evan Clement. And starting in goal for your Knights, number 28, John Eden. The Knights are led by head coach Tim King, who is assisted by Ken Reed, Joe Buscemi, and Russell Tewitt. At this time, we ask all that are able to please rise and remove your hats as we honor America and the men and women of the armed forces with the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner. Ladies and gentlemen, here at CCBC Essex, we embody the spirit of sportsmanship because it is an important component of being a student athlete. We ask that you please refrain from the use of profanity and let all spectators remain positive in cheering for their favorite team. Ladies and gentlemen, the Knights would like to take this opportunity to thank the following sponsors. MedStar Sports Medicine, the official training partner of CCBC Athletics. Madison Bank of Maryland, proud supporter of CCBC Essex Athletics. Visit wbofmd.com to learn more. And finally, the CCBC Associate of Applied Science Digital Media Productions Department, the official broadcast partner of CCBC Athletics. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You have met the starting lineups, heard the national anthem, and we are ready to go for men's lacrosse action here at CCBC Essex, the Coliseum as I like to call it. The Knights in the gold jerseys and the Union County Owls in the nice black jerseys with the red trim. This should be a tightly contested contest. No face-off win to start is a violation, and the Owls will start possession in their offensive zone. The defensive struggles yesterday that the Knights had against Anne Arundel was really in the one-on-one game and then the slide. They were getting beat one-on-one. Their short poles, were getting beat one-on-one in the defensive zone. And then after that, if it wasn't that was giving up the goals, it was either turnovers or just bad slides on defense. So let's see if they can turn that around here this afternoon, as Union is definitely going to want to attack offensively. Some skilled offensive players on that team. The Knights' skilled position players going to get their first opportunity here. Timothy Ross, one of those players you need to watch out for the Knights, number 22, one of the leading goal scorers in the conference. And there is a quick turnover. Kamari Wilkerson tried to catch that, and a sandwich was made with the Owls player, but an illegal sandwich. Possession will stay with the Owls. Even though it was an illegal move there by the Knights defense, probably a good move to have. The Owls could have found themselves in a quick transition position there and gotten the first goal of the game. The Owls still knocking on the door, though. Here's possession. At the top, gets around. Wilkerson, shot and goal. Great one-on-one movement right there from the Owls. Kamari Wilkerson beat like a drum on that play. One-on-one move. Believe that was number 23. Getting confirmation on that in a second. Probably actually 13, Brandon Haynes, I believe. So it was actually number 16, Stephen Gillespie, with the goal, and another violation on the faceoff, so still no one. That Owls goal was scored by number 16, Stephen Gillespie. And here comes the Knights on the attack, trying to get this game back at even. Evan Clement working hard behind the cage. Gets a pass off to Wilkerson. Wilkerson, another one of the Knights players you got to watch out for. He's a skilled one-on-one player. Had a goal and an assist in the game yesterday against Anne Arundel. There's Joshua Shelfie. He also had a goal in that game. Long pass. Knights into a scoring position. Can I get a shot off? Can't so far. But an opening. Clement will take it, and he puts it right onto the stick of the goalkeeper for The Owls, that was a killer be-killed save right there, and it was a nice one. And our first flag of the game will go against the Knights, unless the Owls can get a goal here. Nice save by John Eden. His first of the game. He'll make a couple more like that. John Eden, one of the more talented goalies in the conference. And here's the first penalty of the game. The first man-up opportunity for either team will go for the Owls. Kamari Wilkerson taking his spot in the penalty zone. 30 seconds is all the Owls are going to get, but that may be all they need. Shot wide, but possession will stay with the Owls, closest to the line. 10 seconds has been taken off the penalty. Now halfway through the penalty. The Owls got one good shot. Let's see if they can get another one. Good defense there by Strastowskis. The Owls, not a lot of movement away from the ball right now. Now do, cutting into the middle. Two teams are at even strength now as Wilkerson comes back out onto the field, even though the Owls did not get a goal on that man-up opportunity. I'd say it was still a good one. They got a good shot off. Sometimes it just doesn't fall your way. Good defense being played there initially by number 25, Hunter Privet. Owls still with possession here. Good offensive game plan for them right now. Spin into a shooting area, but it's wide, and possession will maintain, or will stay, with the Owls. Long offensive possession continues. Now they've got an advantage here. Shot. No one is near the end line. It's interesting defense being played here by the Knights. I don't know if they're just, out of position or just not hustling, but this is now 3 shots the Owls have got back because they're the fastest to the end line. Ground ball scooped up by the Owls, so possession still with them. Strastowskis working hard trying to get this ball back. The Owls in a dangerous position here. Almost turn it over. And he's over the line, and possession will go with the Knights. So that long possession, not a good one for the Owls. Evan Clement over to Shelfie. We've under the 10-minute mark of the first quarter. Malachi Terry, ball on his stick, looking for someone to pass to. Finds Clement behind the cage. Timothy Ross. Ross spins off the pick. Finds Clement, who buries it into the back. Good offense right there by the Knights. Ross had the pick set by Chase, went the opposite direction, found Clement cutting in front of the crease, and he buried it into the back of the net. Good offensive game right there for the Knights. Ross to Clement for the goal. 30 from 22. All tied back up at 1 apiece now. Let's see if we can get the face-off right this time. First face-off that hasn't ended in a violation. Who's going to scoop up that ground ball? The Owls do. That Knights goal was scored by number 30, Evan Clement, assisted by number 22, Timothy Ross. Evan Clement with the goal. Timothy Ross the assist. That you already knew that. Here come the Knights. Another possession. One thing the Knights struggled with yesterday against Anne Arundel was turnovers in their defensive zone. John Eden had a couple clear attempts in that game that didn't go well for him. That time the clear attempt for the Knights was picture perfect. Timothy Ross had the assist on the last goal. This time he'll get the goal. Ross now gives the Knights their first lead of the game. He's now got a goal to go along with his assist. Timothy Ross, one of the leading scorers in the conference. Nice move by him. Owls got out to an early 1-0 lead, and now the Knights have their first lead of the game. The Knights, like most teams, a team that plays much better when they're playing with the lead. Face-off win by the Owls. Nice. That Knights goal was scored by number 22, Timothy Ross. Here come the Knights with another opportunity here. Getting their team set up. This is Dawson Porter heads over. He's more face-off specialist than D-Mitty, really. Don't see him play much in the offensive zone. Did have a goal, though, yesterday. Off a face-off win. Got the win, popped it up, and went down the field and buried the shot into the back of the net. Here comes Timothy Ross trying to add some more points to his total. Pass over to Shelfie. Shelfie. Much different offensive game plan here for the Knights in this one. You saw yesterday against Anne Arundel, it was a lot of one-on-one, a lot of not moving around. If you didn't have the ball here, you're seeing some players cut, setting some picks, trying to open things up, not relying so much on the 1v1 game, and there is a bad turnover there as Timothy Ross didn't get the stick up. Bounced it off. Ends up being a turnover. Let's see if the Owls can successfully get rid of this ball, and they can't. It's a bad clear attempt. I don't know, actually, if it was a bad clear attempt or if it was just a better defensive effort by Evan Clement. Regardless, it'll go down as a turnover, and here come the Knights in their offensive zone. Ross, catch, spin, even better save. Man, that would have been a picture-perfect goal, but instead it's a picture-perfect save. But once again, the Owls turn it over in their defensive zone trying to clear it. That time it was a bad clear attempt, I think. I don't think that pass was very accurate. Here's Evan Clement. Shot! And that one, it'll go down as a save, but I don't know. It was a save as much as he was just saving his own life. Sometimes you play in between the pipes, it's kill or be killed, and just decided not to be killed on that play. Here's Malachi Terry over to Kamari Wilkerson. Terry's going to set the pick. In basketball, that would have been a moving pick. Moving it around once again. Here's Terry. Almost lost control there. The defense being played by the Owls, and not a lot of movement away from the ball right now as Evan Clement finally switches through onto the other side. And Terry taking his defender and passing it over to Ross. Now they're going to restart. Shot clock hasn't been turned on yet, but the Knights may find that that'll switch in a minute or two. Approaching the final 5 minutes of play here in the first quarter. Good defensive effort there by the short stick. Chase gets himself into a scoring zone and loses the ball. Great defensive effort there as Chase got himself into a scoring zone with that initial spin. Good recovery defense by the Owls. Once again, cannot get into an offensive set. They turn it over. This time they got it past the midfield line, but couldn't get anything past much further than that. Here come the Knights once again. The Knights have had now 3 possessions in a row given to them off of turnovers by the Owls, but haven't been able to do anything with them. Wilkerson trying to go dancing that time. Didn't work. Defender still on his hip. Now he works behind the cage. Let's see if it works from this angle. Gets himself in, goes for the pass, and lost control of the pass, or maybe that was a good defensive effort. Regardless, it'll go down as a turnover and a missed opportunity, but let's see if the Owls can finally get this ball out of their defensive zone. Good ride being put on here by the Knights, forcing the goalie out and forcing him to work overtime. He turns it over. Ball's on the ground, but it's scooped up by the Owls. Man, the Owls defense struggling here. They finally get that ball past the midfield line and now into the offensive zone momentarily. And that's a pushover by Wilkerson. No, it's not. Wow. Okay. The Knights have possession, but ball don't lie. That's all I'm going to say on that one. As Rasheed Wallace say, ball don't lie. Here come the Owls in the offensive zone. 3 minutes and some change left in this first quarter. 2-1 is the score in favor of the Knights after the Owls got the first goal of the game. The Owls, this feels like their first offensive possession in almost 5-10 minutes. Let's see if they can take advantage of it. Good defensive effort there initially by Colin Brown. Now Strasdauskas is putting on the good effort. The Owls working overtime. Got nothing to show for it right now in this possession, but that's a good skip pass shot. Oh, just wide. Man, that was a quick pass. Open to Union's number 9, Thomas Hartnett. Hartnett wasn't open for long, but he caught that pass quick, shot it, almost buried it. And there is a missed opportunity for the Owls. Got themselves into a really good scoring position there, just couldn't finish it. And John Eden was quick out of the crease and the fastest to the line for the Knights. Even though the Owls didn't get a goal on that possession, I think that was a really good offensive possession for them and could be one that builds momentum. Now they just need some of that momentum to start switching over onto the defensive side as well, because the Owls would have much more opportunities to their name if they haven't have turned the ball over in their defensive zone so much. But then again, that's the Captain Obvious statement of the broadcast. Here comes Colin Brown behind the cage looking for something, spins around. Pass Shelfie, and that one's no good. That's wide, and it'll go towards the Owls. Once again, the Owls with an opportunity here, but only if they can get this ball out of their defensive zone. 2 minutes left here in this first quarter. Remember, 4 quarters, as opposed to the 2 halves that the women play at this level. Good passing, working this ball up into the offensive zone. It's always easier to get that ball up into the offensive zone a lot of times with the passing as opposed to just letting one player go from coast to coast. The Owls got that ball in their offensive zone, but then quickly turned it over, and now the Knights have a chance to get this lead up to 2. This has been a very tightly contested first quarter. Clement pass to Ross. Ross with the bounce shot and goal. You saw those two working on their first goal as Ross went to Clement. This time it's Clement to Ross. And the goal for the Knights now makes it 3-1 with 1 minute and 23 seconds left in the first quarter. The Owls, still enough time for them to get this back to a 1-goal game before we start the second quarter. The Owls have had some offensive opportunities in this first quarter, just not as many as the Knights. That Knights goal was scored by number 22, Timothy Ross, assisted by number 30, Evan Clement. And the coast-to-coast goal there. Please don't come in the broadcast booth again. Yeah. Okay, actually, it's TJ Ross. Thank you, Mr. Ross. I'm assuming that was. The goal happened pretty quickly, so I didn't see who had that goal, but I'm assuming that Dawson Porter just went coast to coast there. But it is 4-1 now. Here goes Evan Clement. And the shot. Oh, I don't know if that was wide or if it was a good save, because the goalkeeper, Dale DeSantis, got his stick down there. Would have made the save regardless. I do think that one was just a little wide. The defensive effort regardless. Evan Clement didn't have much of an angle on that shot. Here goes Ross. Already close to the hat trick club. Ross, a great pass there. And it led to another good pass that couldn't be controlled, and that will probably be all she wrote for the first quarter. As Evan Clement's shot is well over the cage, and the final score at the end of the first 15 is 4-1. We'll get you confirmation on who had that fourth goal in just 1 minute. But at the end of the first 15, 4-1 is the score. Let's see if the Owls have a better 15 after this short break. Okay, we are back here in the broadcast booth, and the two teams are about to take the field and ready to play the second quarter. We do have now confirmation on that fourth goal was scored by number 18, Dawson Porter, the face-off specialist for the night. So he popped it up and took it the distance. And that is now 2 days in a row that Mr. Porter has done that in the game. Maybe he's getting some offensive momentum on his side. Speaking of offensive momentum, that is something that the Owls would like to get on their side. Now, the scoreboard may not reflect it as they only have one goal to their name, but the Owls did have some opportunities in that first quarter. But I'm sure they'd like to get a few more opportunities here in the second quarter. Definitely a much different game from the Knights here on Sunday as opposed to Saturday. Saturday, the Knights struggled against Anne Arundel. It was a close game throughout, but they did end up coming out the losers in that game, and at no point in the game did they ever hold the lead. Anne Arundel was in control from the opening whistle, and here it's been a much different contest. The Knights have pretty much been in control since the opening whistle. Here goes Joshua Shelfie and the Knights offense on the attack early on. Shot. Oh, just wide. There was a nice scoring effort on the breakdown. And you saw the effort there. That almost led to a goal. Effort there from Evan Clement trying to find TJ Ross. Oh, nice save. Great effort there by the Owls goalkeeper to keep a goal off the board. Good effort there by the Knights as well. That was a good goal-scoring effort. And a huge hit right at the midfield line. Man. Huge. Here come the Owls. Still struggling to get this ball out of their defensive zone. Another big hit. D middies for the Knights. Put on their checking shoes. The Knights, their physical play yesterday maybe was lacking a little bit here on Sunday. Not the same story. And a moving pick, I believe, there. Got to set those feet. Regardless, a turnover, but the Owls may turn it right back over. It's something they have struggled with. Finally going with the Hail Mary. And almost saving that from going out of bounds. It's a tough strategy. The Knights, Kamari Wilkerson is able to get that ball on his stick as the Knights almost turned it over in their offensive zone that time, or their defensive zone, excuse me. Strasdowskis, long pole in the offensive area. And now they'll get back at even strength. Almost played a full 3 minutes in this second quarter. Score still remains at 4-1, all 5 of those goals coming in the first quarter. A breakdown. Ross. That pass will not get to him as it's deflected. Terry picks it up, passes it over to Wilkerson. Wilkerson split. Now spin. Trying to go through 2 defenders. Wilkerson maybe trying to do a little bit too much. Was somehow able to get that pass off over to Chase. Chase got a shot. No good, but the possession arrow will remain with the Knights. Or will it? Yes, it will, as a timeout is taken on the field. Offensive strategy being talked over by the Knights and defensive strategy being talked over by the Owls. Wonder what head coach Jay Rousey has to say to his Owls defense. Stay strong. Defensive effort has been really good for the Owls in this game. It's just they haven't been able to do anything afterwards. Once they've gotten control of the ball, they just haven't been able to get it into the offensive zone. Defensive effort is there. John Eden, the goalkeeper for the Knights, has given up 1 goal so far, but outside of that, he hasn't been tested very much. Two teams come back out onto the field. Two teams are back out onto the field, ready to play the next 12 minutes. See what the offensive strategy will be now after the timeout. Not much of a different game plan. Still relying on that one-on-one. Malachi Terry somehow split the two defenders there for the Owls. Got himself into a scoring position, but did not put a good shot on net. And a penalty is out on the field now as the laundry is sent out, and it'll be against the Knights. This will be their second penalty of the game. The Owls found themselves in a 30-second man-up position earlier. Now they're going to find themselves 2 men up as the Knights are going to have 2 players take over onto the sideline on really 2 just kind of silly fouls. That last one was definitely unnecessary. Owls player was down on the ground, and dude, stop talking. Here come the Owls. Number 20 is going to have possession of the ball. Quick shot, very good shot. John Eden was first off. It's going to be both penalties were a minute. So the Owls, great opportunity to get this back down to 3 goals. Another shot. That was a good shot, and even better save by John Eden. Good ride there put on by the Owls, and it forces the turnover. Number 23, Brandon Huggins, maybe trying to do a little bit too much. The Owls, another opportunity. The Knights found themselves down 2 men earlier this week in a game against Anne Arundel yesterday, and they gave up a goal. Let's see if they can kill off that 2-man advantage by the Owls, as there's only 9 seconds left on this penalty. The Owls have gotten 2 really good shots. Let's see if they can get a third. 2 teams are going to be at even strength as the penalty is now released, but this is a great opportunity. I was going to say it's a great opportunity for the Owls to get an advantage as the 2 teams are coming back onto even strength. Sometimes you see that when the players are coming out, they'll get themselves out of position and the Owls can get a quick shot off. That didn't happen as they turned it over, and the Knights tried to go for a quick possession of their own, but now the Owls going the other way. This is a physical contest. 9 minutes and some change left here in the first half. Those 2 penalties by the Knights seem to maybe light a fire in the Owls. They seem to playing a little bit more physical since then in the last 2 minutes. Still can't get anything going offensively, though. The defense for the Knights has been on their A game. Ooh, bad possession there. Chase just had that ball pop right out of his stick. Here goes Shelfie. Here come the Knights. Not a lot of movement away. Now we finally got someone cutting towards. Shot is wide. Clement is there. Possession will remain with the Knights. Shot once again wide. Not very accurate with the shot is number 19 for the Knights. Even though I don't have a number 19 on my scores card. Shelfie with the ball again. Scrum for the ball. Here come the Owls. Good move there to get that pass. The midfield line, he had a couple of gold jerseys around. I thought they was going to lose it momentarily. Finally, the Owls get it onto a short stick and into the offensive zone. The Owls have done a good job of getting good shots once they've got that ball into the offensive zone. Scoreboard may not reflect it, but the stat line definitely does. They've had some shots on goal. They're going to get another chance for a shot on goal here. It's a good offensive possession for the Owls. Cutting through, going one-on-one. Shot, ooh, just wide. I think that bounced off Eden as well. But a good shot, another good shot. Wow, the Owls working overtime here on this possession. They may get a goal out of it. Brandon Haynes that time working hard. Got himself into a scoring position after initially not being in a very good, favorable angle. Good defensive effort there. Ball's on the ground. No one knows it. Knights will take possession. The Owls, I think, had 2-3 opportunities there with shots. None of them coming and hitting the back of the net. So it's a difficult offensive possession, but one that could definitely build some momentum. The Owls have had a couple possessions like that here in this second quarter, just no goals to their name. It's interesting. They were so hot and so quick out of the gate. Got that first goal of the game. And it's been all night since then offensively. Malachi Terry, almost like he just wants to find someone to get rid of the ball to. Now is getting into the offensive set. Pass off. Here's Ross over to Shelfie. Back to Ross. Ross. Good recovery defense there by the Owls. A wet spot there on the turf caused someone to slip. And Ross could not catch that pass cleanly, and it's a turnover. Whistle is blown by the ref, and now we'll restart play. Here come the Owls. Their last offensive possession, they were able to get a couple shots off, just no goals. Let's see what they can do here on this one. The offensive momentum is starting to build towards the Owls a little bit here, especially in the late stages of this second quarter. Our defensive effort has been stellar here in this game, outside of the turnovers, of course. Because if we kept track of time of possession, it'd definitely be in favor of the Knights, and you'd think they'd be up closer to maybe 5 or 6 goals, but it's only a 3-goal game right now. Still very much anyone's contest. The Owls could go on a nice little run, make this second half very interesting. First half has been tightly contested and very physical, so I'm sure the second half is we're going to see much more of the same. Ground ball scooped up initially by no one. Now finally the Owls get it. Good defensive effort here by the Knights. The Owls not getting anything here. Four minutes to play. And I don't know if that was a bad pass or it just wasn't expecting it. Almost a turnover, but the Owls scoop it up and still with possession, still with some time. Shot clock is still off. Shot, and a good save by Eden. Get that stick down low. John Eden is a tough goalkeeper to beat. He's one of the top goalies in the conference. He is a super competitor, too. Remember a game earlier in the season where he was having some words with one of his defenders. He's not afraid to tell someone when they're out of position. You like that in your goalkeeper. Goalkeeper for the Owls has had a good afternoon as well. There's a bad turnover by the Knights. Here's a transition opportunity for the Owls. We've got a long stick in the offensive zone. Transition for the Owls is good. They got into a scoring position and a goal. Nice move there by Brandon Haynes. He had a defender right on his hip, but it did not matter for Mr. Brandon Haynes, number 13. The sophomore out of Glen Ridge, New Jersey. Good move there, and it is now 4-2. The Owls' first goal since early in the first quarter. Still lots of time for the Owls to go on a nice little run here. The Knights went on a 4-goal run after the Owls scored their first goal. So let's see if the Owls can build their own little run and maybe take the lead or tie things up before halftime. Regardless, this is going to be a game that could come down to the wire, and it looks like it's going to. That Owls goal was scored by number 13, Brandon Haynes. Possession with the Owls once again here. The offensive momentum's definitely building for the Owls. You saw it after they had 2-3 possessions that ended with no goals but good shots. Body language doctor would say that the Owls seem to be a lot more confident than they were in the late stages of that first quarter. Tough afternoon for Lacrosse here. It is cold and windy out there. Shot. Oh, great save by Eden. Eden got that stick up there high. Usually take a shot from all the way out there. Not all the way out there, but you take a shot from a distance like that. It's usually coming in low. Eden saw it, was able to recognize it and make the save. Let's see what the Knights can do here on this offensive possession as they have now watched their 3-goal lead turn to 2. 4-2 is the score. Ross looking for someone. Good defense being played on Ross right now. I believe that's number 11, Ian Hill. He's got him behind the cage. Not a lot of movement away from the ball. Now he's taking it onto that far sideline as Hill goes one way and Evan Clement goes the other way. A minute and some change is left. Ross, lost control of that ball, scoops it back up. And a good defensive move there. Put the offensive player for the Knights right on the ground. Great check there, and the defensive effort for the Owls is really good right now on this possession, and it's going to end in a good shot by Shelfie, but an even better save. Great defensive effort there by the Owls. That's a momentum builder, and woo, shake and bake. Nice move. It sets up the pass, the shot, the save, man. And the shot with the long pole. What a move. Oh, wow. Jarrett Luama. What a move by him. He caught the bounce after the rebound and just put it into the back of the net. And it's a brand new ball game with 25 seconds left to go in the first half. It's now 4-3. And the Owls have gone on a 2-goal run to end things, in this first half. A first quarter that was dominated by the Knights, followed by a second quarter that, I'll say, was dominated by the Owls. Scoreboard may not reflect it, but if you watched it, you know it. Great effort there by the Owls, and here's a great effort here. Dawson Porter to Ross, and a goal! Wow! Anything you can do, I can do better. So quick. Dawson Porter now has an assist to go along with his goal. TJ Ross is now officially entered into the hat trick club. Couldn't even announce the first goal by the Owls before we got a goal by the Knights. Bang, bang, and that wasn't even 10 seconds off the clock there. The Owls' goal was scored by number 4, Jarrett Luama. The Knights' goal was scored by number 22, TJ Ross, assisted by number 18, Dawson Porter. Another shot and a save, and that'll be all she wrote for the first half. The score at the end of 30 is 5-3 in favor of the Knights. We're going to have a nail-biter on our hands. Not going to want to miss this one. We'll be back with the second 30 after this.
Is he just a random spectator?
I'm sure he's dad.
Yeah. Pretty good game. Pretty good game on our hands. Yeah. Really good. Yeah. I mean, they're the more talented team. That, that's so huge in lacrosse, just having minis to run.
It's all running. It's literally all running.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god. Like doesn't matter how good you are. Like you don't have fresh legs.
Yep.
Like you just get beat. You just get overrun.
Yep.
So a team like Essex, I'm sure you guys just like settle the ball down.
Yeah.
Get you guys rested. It's the best.
So you guys just get hit by that snowstorm in the third frame?
Yeah, yeah, we got about 4 inches,
Okay.
but it, you know, we got hella sun the next day, so it just dried up.
That's exactly what happened with us here. It's like everything was gone. I think like around here we might have gotten like 4 to 6 or something like that.
Yeah, I heard the South got it more. Yeah.
But yeah, it was just the sun the next day. Everything was gone.
Yeah. We'll come down here like one of these summers. We'll see. Wasn't the Final Four played in Baltimore last year?
I think it was one of the rounds or it was something. I forget what it was.
Maybe it was Philly.
Yeah, it might have been Philly.
It's usually like either like played at like Eagle Stadium, or like Raven Stadium, or Gillette, up in Foxborough.
For years they had it here at what was it like the big 4 games or whatever they
Yeah,
had.
Final Four.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's usually played at like the Raven Stadium,
yeah,
right?
the team thing. Yeah. Gonna find out who's had the better coach.
We only have one coach. That's the thing. Yeah.
I talked to him. He seems serious.
No, yeah, he knows what he's doing. He's a good coach.
And
He got no support though.
I was listening to our athletic director talk about how he thought he'd be a really good coach that had a bigger program. So
He would.
Yeah.
He would. You know, it's just so hard for him because he's got no help. There's no discipline on the team. He's the only coach.
Yeah, that's the problem.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready and we are back here for the final 30 minutes of this contest that has been a nail biter. 5-3 is the score right now. At one point, the Knights held a 3-goal lead, but now their lead is back down to 2. Dawson Porter, big face-off win. He's gone coast to coast on those face-offs a couple times, once for an assist and another for a goal. Let's see what the Knights have in store. First offensive possession of the second half. That is a quick shot by Evan Clement. Not much of an angle there, but Clement is supremely confident. Thought he could bury it into the back of the net there. The defensive effort for the Owls in the first half was spectacular. The Knights really dominated time of possession, and they had lots of shots, but the Owls defense, they bent a little bit, but they did not break. Their only problem really was the clear. Once they would get possession of the ball, they'd turn it over a couple times in their defensive zone. That gave the Knights some extra possessions that led to those goals. But outside of that, defensive effort for the Owls has been spectacular. Good recovery there. Clement was open for a second, but not for long, but he does get a shot off, and that was just picture-perfect lacrosse there. Evan Clement made a great play to get himself into a scoring position, and he buried it into the back of the net. That is now his second goal of the game after getting the first goal of the game for the Knights. And the lead is back to 3 after that goal, and really nothing the Owls defense could do there outside of make a fantastic save because Evan Clement just did all the work himself. Great offensive display of power and skill there from Evan Clement. First goal of the second half goes to the Knights. That Knights goal was scored by number 30, Evan Clement. So here come the Owls, or excuse me, here come the Knights. Possession here. Keys to the second half for the Owls, pretty obvious. Just limit those turnovers. You limit those turnovers, you're going to get a lot more offensive opportunities, and they're going to make the most of their offensive opportunities. They've done so far. Some goals and some really good shots on goal for the Owls. The Knights, key to the second half, just more of the same in the first half. Stay aggressive and stay hungry. Chase the shot. Even better save. Fantastic save going low to high. Man, that was nice. Here's the problem here for the Owls. That time they get past the ride from the Knights and they get into the offensive zone. A great ride put on by the Knights, but even better, clear by the Owls. Here they come. Got someone open behind the cage, and they throw it over to him. Don't have the mismatch, though, as Strastowskis is back there, so they've got a long pole on him. Shot! Oh, no save and no goal. We have a goalie substitution into the game. I'm now just noticing for the Knights in between the pipes is number 8, Nolan Kent. Kent, a sophomore out of Towson, Maryland. Spent his high school tenure at Loch Raven. That's my neck of the woods, and if you know anything about Baltimore or Maryland area lacrosse, you know Loch Raven is one of the top lacrosse programs in public high school. So he knows his way around the cage. Don't believe John Eden was taken out, though, for performance reasons, as he had a great first half. Maybe just want to see what Nolan Kent's got. Great save! He used the body, couldn't even get the stick down there fast enough. Saved it with the legs, I think. Sometimes it's kill or be killed. Just decided not to be the one killed that afternoon, or on that shot, excuse me. Almost played a full 5 minutes here in this third quarter. The Knights have one goal to their name here in the second half. Score is 6-3, matching their largest lead of the game at 3 goals. Kamari Wilkerson has been very quiet here this afternoon. Is a name I have not said a lot, which is a surprise. I said his name quite a few times yesterday. Wilkerson pass a little over Terry's head. Here come the Knights shot, and that shot is just not accurate and just not there for number 19 for the Knights. Here's TJ Ross. Shot and a save. Body language for 19 says it all. He thought that one was good. TJ Ross set him up perfectly with the pass. Long clear attempt is good. Initially, I thought that was caught, but it was not caught cleanly. And then they had 2 Owls players collide, I believe. That was not pretty, and one of them's holding his knee, writhing in some serious pain, and the referee will blow the whistle as the trainer comes out, and it's not pretty. We'll take a break along with the team. The injured player for the Owls, number 15, Miles Ackerson, sophomore attack out of Hopewell, New Jersey. Sports management major. I like that. That says that on the scorecard for the Owls. It tells us what their major is as well. A lot of sports management majors there. Mr. Ackerson was able to leave the field under his own power. I believe the two teams, or the two players, just collided knees, as that was Ackerson was holding his knee down on the ground, what it seemed at least. Hopefully we see him back in the game. He was one of the starters for the Owls in this game. Here they come. The Owls, possession and an opportunity to get this game back to a 2-goal game. It was a great second quarter for the Owls. Let's see if they can get that momentum to turn into the third quarter as well. Shot. Oh, wow. Very close to being a goal there. Doesn't get much closer. I think that hit off the post. Ground ball scooped up by the Owls. 3 gold jerseys around. None of them can get the ball out. And a shot and a save by Nolan Kent. Ground ball once again scooped up by the Owls. This is a good offensive possession for the Owls. 2 shots, 2 ground balls, and now they've still got possession and still an opportunity to get this to a 2-goal game. Nolan Kent being tested early here in the third quarter. We've played over 6 minutes in this third quarter. Only 1 goal to speak of in the second half, and it came off of the stick of number 30, Evan Clement, for the Knights. But the Owls are pressing the issue here, trying to get a goal themselves. The pass is thrown off before he falls to the ground. Greg Scatterow, and almost a good scoring opportunity there from Brandon Haynes. Haynes initially thought he had caught that, but then realized he didn't, scooped it up, and then took the shot. Shot wasn't accurate, though. Missed opportunity. Here's Strastowskis in the scoring zone. We had a long pole score in the first half for the Owls. Can we see a long pole score in the second half for the Knights? We won't on that possession. Strastowskis, instead of going for the shot, went for the pass, and it was a good one. He passed it over to T.J. Ross, who gave it over to Clement, and the 2-man game from Ross and Clement almost worked to perfection again. Clement, the shot, and a better save. Talk about the 2-man game from Clement and Ross, taking a page out of Johns Hopkins University. Notorious for using the 2-man game in their offensive sets, particularly this year. Here goes Terry. And Wilkerson can't catch that one, but he's able to recover, get the ball back. Shot. Wilkerson is just inaccurate with his shot. And he's laying on the ground, maybe in some pain, or maybe he had his pride hurt. Oh, he looks to be in some pain, so he's staying out on the ground. Wilkerson probably going to come out of the game now as the whistle has been blown and the trainer... Well, the trainer's not coming onto the field, but Wilkerson will come off, or will he? No, he'll stay on. Nope, now he picks up the momentum, and he will head out to the sideline. Number 19 for the Knights getting some last-minute shooting advice from his coaching staff. He's had plenty of shots in this game, and some good ones, too. Just no goals to his name so far. Here come the Owls. Clear attempts have been much better here in the third quarter. Maybe I jinxed them there as that one went over the head of the Owls player, but they're able to scoop up the ground ball. Good ride there put on by the the Knights. Owls scoop up the ground ball again. Here they come. Shot with the long stick. Nolan Kent makes the save. And man, that could have been two long pole goals early on in this game. That's not something you see every day. Pass over. Long cross field pass is dangerous, but it's scooped up by Dawson Porter. Porter looking for someone. Finally gets rid of it over to Chase. Chase. Now Clement, good ball movement here from the Knights, and it leads to a goal. Great passing. TJ Ross over to his teammate Joshua Shelfie, and Shelfie had a goal last night against Anne Arundel and now has a goal this afternoon against Union. Shelfie catches the pass from Ross, puts it into the back of the net, and TJ Ross now has 2 assists to go along with his 2 goals. Or his 3 goals. He is now a member of the Hat Trick Club. I forgot he got that last goal late in the second half, or first half, That Knights goal was scored by number 10, Joshua Shelfie, assisted by number 22, TJ Ross. TJ Ross with the goal, and now Evan Clement is pressing the issue before he passes it over to Malachi Terry. Terry. Yesterday was used more of as a defensive midfield specialist, but here showing he can score as well. He takes the pick from Wilkerson and puts it into the back of the net, and the defenders for the Owls are looking at the referees. They want a call or something, maybe a moving pick, an illegal screen or something. I did not see the pick being set, so I cannot say whether I agree or disagree. All I do know is that Malachi Terry now has a goal to his name here this afternoon, and now this is the largest lead of the game for either team. 8-3 is now the score. Five minutes and some change left in the third quarter. That Knights goal was scored by number 2, Malachi Terry. Here comes TJ Ross as he has the ball on his stick and he's directing traffic. Body language for the Owls still good, but could change here. Another goal for the Knights. The momentum that was on the Owls' side late in that second quarter seems to be switching back onto the Knights' side. Wilkerson. Fake shot, goal! Kamari Wilkerson gets in on the scoring. Nice move by Wilkerson. He set up that initial driving lane with the fake shot or pass. And then he took advantage of the opening, made the most of it, put it into the back of the net. 9-3 is now the score. A nice little 4-goal run to start this third quarter by the Knights. Goalkeeper Dale DeSantis for the Owls giving some words of encouragement to his teammates. Still lots of time left in this game. That Knights goal was scored by number 1, Kamari Wilkerson. Clement shot, great save. Was right at the stick, but that was a nice effort there by Clement. Get himself into a scoring position, and now let's see what the Owls have in store. Can they get this ball out of their defensive zone? Right now they're struggling. 1 black jersey, 2 gold jerseys around, and they just throw that ball out. Some chirping going back and forth between these two teams on the field. James Chase, ball on his stick. Shot behind the back. Ooh, this crowd would have exploded if that ball would have went into the back of the net. Be 30-second man-up opportunity for the Knights. I think this is their first man-up opportunity of the game. 30 seconds. Number 10, Jamal Almari will take a seat on the bench. For how long, we'll see. Wilkerson, Clement, Chase, back to Ross. Good ball movement here on this possession, and Ross over to Wilkerson. He puts it into the back of the net, and 14 seconds was all the time they needed. Not really sure why the clock was still running. Took a couple extra 3 seconds off there, but 14 seconds into the man-up opportunity was all that they needed to get the goal. TJ Ross, now 3 assists to go along with his 3 goals. That Knights goal was scored by number 1, Kamari Wilkerson, assisted by number 22, TJ Ross. TJ Ross getting his name called a lot here this afternoon. No surprise, as I said before the broadcast, he's one of the leading scorers in the conference. And, oh my goodness, put that on a highlight tape, put some music behind it, and you got yourself a YouTube video. My goodness, Evan Clement rising and finishing. He joins TJ Ross in the hat trick club. It is now 11-3, and the Knights are starting to run away with this. That Knights goal was scored by number 30, Evan Clement. Quick passing again leads to another shot from Evan Clement, and Clement, his reaction after the shot and save says it all. Disappointment was obvious. He thought he was going to get his 4th goal of the game. And now with a minute and some change left in the 3rd quarter, the Knights possession again after the whistle. And here is Mr. Shelfie. He's got 1 goal to his name. Came earlier on in this 3rd quarter. Ross doesn't realize that he lost the ball, now does. Looking for someone, looking for anything. Good defense being played there by the Owls. Shelfie going to restart this possession, taking it right at the defender. Now going around onto the opposite side. Shot, better save. Not much of an angle there for Shelfie. That would have been a pretty incredible goal if he was able to make that one happen. And now the goalie's going to play the walk-up game. Gets it over to Haynes. Haynes doesn't realize he has someone right behind him. Almost lost it. It's able to scoop it up. Haynes needs to find someone. Does. Here come the Owls. And a whistle. Timeout taken by head coach Jay Rousey and the Owls. 33 seconds left in this third quarter. Lots of threes out there. 33 seconds, third quarter, and 3 goals in the game for the Owls. 11-3 is the score. This is a game that was very close when we started this second half. We're going to finish the first quarter of the second half with the game not being so close, though. The Knights, when they look back on this game, they'll know that this third quarter was the one where they started to really pull away. Still lots of time, though, left in this game. The Owls can make a nice little run and get this back into a manageable game. The way the shots have been finding the back of the net for the Knights, it's going to be very difficult. Seems like one of those nights for the Knights where if you take it, you make it. So pretty much every game for Ray Allen. 11-3 is the score. See what the offensive strategy that head coach Jay Rousey drew up for his team. I got to speak with Coach Rousey before the game, not very long, but I could tell that he was an intense individual. Very passionate about his team and the sport of lacrosse. Always nice to see. The game continues to grow. And at levels like this, that's always happy and great to see. 25 seconds left here in this game, or in this third quarter, excuse me. This is a good possession here. Shot! Oh, that was a really nice pass and a really good shot, but it does not find the back of the net. And that'll be the only possession, or the only shot they'll get on this possession is now possession. The possession arrow, points in the direction of the Knights. Here's Dawson Porter up to chase. Can't be caught, but Shelfie gets the rebound. And that pass is immediately deflected, and here come the Owls. Quick shot before the end of the third quarter. That will not happen. So at the end of 45, the score is 11-3. We'll have another 15 minutes right after this quick break.
He scored when he turned the corner, put it top corner. That was filthy. That was a nice goal.
Two teams are back out onto the field, ready to play the final 15 minutes of this contest. Quick face-off win by Dawson Porter. Here's Clement. Shelfie, no good on the shot. Ross over to Shelfie. Shelfie, long pass across the field over to Kyle Christensen. Christensen, name I haven't said a lot. Wow, Malachi Terry climbing the ladder to make that catch. Clouds are starting to set in here this afternoon. Looks like we may have some rain later today. Malachi Terry taking it right at his defender. Shot and scored. Malachi Terry, great move there. He beat his defender. Took it to the side and scored. And a little bit of a conference in front of the goal for the Owls players, looking to think who was supposed to slide there. Malachi Terry now only one goal away from joining Evan Clement and TJ Ross in the Hat Trick Club, and I'm sure he's well aware of that. Malachi Terry, before the game, when the two teams were stretching, was showing everyone in the stands his epic dance moves. I use that term lightly. That Knights goal was scored by number 2, Malachi Terry. And Chase climbing the ladder to make that catch. First goal of the fourth quarter comes off the stick of Terry. He got his first goal of the game in the third quarter. Christensen trying to get in on the scoring action there. Here's Ross. Ross behind the head. Oh, TJ Ross. Act like you've been there before, young man. A nice move by him and no celebration afterwards. TJ Ross, his fourth goal of the game. That was a nice move by him. Get into a good goal-scoring area. Put it into the back of the net. That Knights goal was scored by number 22, TJ Ross. So now it is 13-3. It's a 10-goal lead for the Knights. Largest lead of the game for them. Even though the Owls know that they're going to be walking out of here not victorious here in this game. Head coach Jay Rousey got to be happy with his team's performance, keeping this game close up until the later stages of the game. And like the great Tom Hanks said, you learn a lot from getting your butt kicked. There's a lot of teachable moments and a lot of coaching opportunities coming out of this game for Coach Rousey. And there's another goal for the Knights. That one scored by number 4, James Chase. And the score now reaches 14-3. That Knights goal was scored by number 4, James Chase. James Chase there with the goal, and now Dawson Porter has that ball on his stick looking for something. He gives it up and takes his seat on the bench. Interesting to see still so much of this, those first unit guys in the game not getting, well, the Knights, granted, don't have much of a second unit. This is a thin Knights team compared to years past, and that's a goal. Finally, number 19 gets the goal. Gonna have to figure out what that young man's name is. I actually do not have a number 19 on my scorers table. Rodney Pettit is actually number 19. Congratulations to that young man on his first goal of the game. That Knights goal was scored by number 19, Rodney Pettit. Rodney Pettit. No relation to Andy Pettit, I believe. Former Yankees pitcher. 15-3 is the score after Mr. Pettit's goal, and I'm sure he's very happy about that one. He had lots of shots on goal earlier on. He almost got another shot on goal that time. And that is going to be a whistle against the Knights as the Owls will take possession. Physical play continues even as this game is no longer in doubt. That's something that head coach Tim King and Jay Rousey for their teams respectively got to be happy about. Keeping the physicality up in the game, keeping the effort at a maximum level. Maximum effort, as Mr. Wade Wilson would say. Shot with the long pole, saved by Nolan Kent. Here's Wilkerson. He's got jets. He's got space. Fake pass. And another pass. Oh, Ross tried to spin and shoot the opposite direction. Usually you'd see him catch, spin the other way and shoot. This time goes the opposite shoulder. Tries to bury it. Can't. That would have been two miraculous goals by TJ Ross. I was told by his parents to only refer to him as Timothy when he does something bad. It's not always good when your parents come to the games and get to talk to the announcers. Shot, goal, and lots of flags out there on the field, and the physicality continues. And I know I said head coach Tim King's going to be happy with his team's physicality, but not like that. That was a lot of silly little fouls that should have never taken place. And Brandon Haynes put in overtime there on the goal. That was a very nice effort by that young man. Gets now his second goal of the game. And there's going to be a couple players in the penalty zone for the Knights after that one. As I believe there's 3 flags on the field right now. I think there was 4 thrown because I saw another ref pick one up off the ground. That Owls goal was scored by number 13, Brandon Haynes. And it is Pettit and also, that is Pettit and also Strasdowskis. 1 minute they have both received in the penalty zone. Strasdowskis got a bunch of penalties last night against Anne Arundel. He is a very physical player, not afraid to throw the hammer, as they say. So another two-man up opportunity for the Owls. They had a two-man up opportunity earlier in the game that was successfully killed off by the Knights. I'm guessing this one's unreleasable, though. At least one of them. Shot. Great save by Nolan Kent getting down there on the knees. Kent coming in cold, making some big saves here in the second half. And he just goes for the Hail Mary clear attempt. That doesn't find anybody. Wow, somehow Wilkerson's able to scoop up that ground ball. He's like a lightning bolt out there. He's just so quick. You think he's in front of you, and then boom, he's on the other side of the field. Much like Tiana Hapsis for the women's Knights team. She's one of those players she's always got to be out on a lookout for. Here's Evan Clement as the two-man advantage for the the Owls comes to an end. I knew I was going to call them the Hawks at least once. The jersey is somewhat similar to the Atlanta Hawks of the NBA. And again, it's easy for me to say that since I'm colorblind. Evan Clement with the ball on his stick. Clement with a quick shot. Doesn't get it, but Shelfie is there. Evan Clement is working overtime here. It's hard not to notice. Evan Clement, a 5'7" freshman out of San Diego, California. Hopefully he's got some fans and some family over on the West Coast who's watching and listening in on this game. If you do, howdy ho. 15-4 is the score. Joshua Shelfie with the ball on his stick. Whew, Wilkerson shaking and baking. Ross, the shot, the goal. TJ Ross, another goal. He now has 5 in the game, I believe. 1, 2. Yep, that is 5 goals for Mr. TJ Ross, having an afternoon that he certainly will not forget anytime soon. And we are approaching the 8-minute mark of this fourth quarter, and the score is now 16-4. This is a second half that is not gone the Owls' way at all. That Knights goal was scored by number 22, TJ Ross. Good ride put on there by Pettit. Owls able to get the ball into their offensive zone now and try and collect some of those goals back that they've given up here in the second half. Remember, this was a 3-goal game at one point in the second half. There is a beautiful shot and score. Brandon Haynes now has joined some of those Knights players in the hat trick club. He took that punishment that he received and still buried that shot into the back of the net. Brandon Haynes is proving that he's not one to be messed with. Supremely confident young man. Brandon Haynes is sophomore attackman out of Glen Ridge, New Jersey. New Jersey, long ways away from here. I've made that trip plenty of times in my lifetime. About a 4.5 yard, 4.5 hour trip down here to Baltimore. That Owls goal was scored by number 13, Brandon Haynes. And a quick shot and goal there by the long stick for the Owls. That is his second goal of the game, number 14, Jarrett Luama. Jarrett was one of the captains for this Owls team, I believe. He's got this goal or this game back to a 10-point game. 16-6 is the score. That Owls goal was scored by number 4, Jarrett Luama. The Owls seem to have a new sense of urgency and a sense of a new body language going through them, going through their players on their team, excuse me. Jarrett, another shot with the long stick. That was very accurate. Wasn't able to get the goal, though. Nolan Kent was able to make the save, and Strasdowskis lays down the hit, but he'll take a seat on the sidelines for it. Big hit by Strasdowskis laid onto the Owls' offensive player, but it was an illegal hit. And the Owls will have another opportunity on the man up. They've had a couple chances. This one only 30 seconds. Let's see what they can do. Quick shot. Waved off, though, as the whistle was not blown. We're approaching the final 5 minutes of play here in this game. Quick shot. Nolan Kent makes the save. Different strategy on that man-up opportunity for the Owls. They had been moving the ball around, but that time they just went for the quick shot. Can't say I blame them. They've had plenty of opportunities on man-up opportunities, just haven't been able to do anything with it. And that's a big reason why this score looks the way it does. 16-6 is the score as we are now in the final 6 minutes of play, and it looks like some snow flurries are coming down. Maybe they're just coming off the top of the building from the snow earlier this week, but it is cold out there. Not always the nicest afternoon for lacrosse when it's cold out there, cold and windy like it is today. Malachi Terry trying to push off. The NBA, he would have got a foul for that one. And there is Kamari Wilkerson catching the pass from TJ Ross, and Wilkerson joins TJ Ross, Evan Clement, and Brandon Haynes in the hat trick club. Kamari Wilkerson had a goal and assist last night against Anne Arundel, and now he has 3 goals here this afternoon. 5 minutes and some change is all that separates these two teams from the end of this contest. That night's goal was scored by number 1, Kamari Wilkerson. Wilkerson with another goal, and the Knights, I'd say they can just take their time here on these offensive possessions, move the ball around and try and take some time off the clock, but I don't think that's going to be their offensive strategy. They're going to want to keep this their foot on the pedal. Here's Pettit. Pettit, the shot and the goal. Another goal by Pettit. After having an afternoon earlier that seemed like he would never see the ball go into the back of the net, he now has 2 goals to his name in the late stages of this contest. Rodney Pettit, his second goal of the contest. He had a couple really good shots in the first half that just didn't find the back of the net. Maybe these two that have found the back of the net will kickstart his confidence moving forward in this season. That night's goal was scored by number 19, Rodney Pettit. Well, that's interesting. Timeout taken by the Knights. That's not something you see very often, especially for a team that is up 18-6 right now. 4 minutes and 43 seconds left in what is turning into a very cold afternoon here at CCBC Essex. Here at the Coliseum, want to take this opportunity to thank all the people who help keep the lights on here at CCBC Essex. MedStar Sports Medicine, the official training partner of CCBC Athletics. Also, Madison Bank of Maryland, proud supporter of CCBC Essex Athletics. Visit wbofmd.com to learn more. And also, can't forget about the CCBC Associate of Applied Science Digital Media Productions Department, the official broadcast partner of CCBC Athletics. And also, don't forget, fans, about the Lace Up for Lax event that is going to be going down here at CCBC Essex. I don't have any more information about that other than go onto the CCBC Essex website. You can find all the information you need about that, as that event was supposed to be earlier this week, but because of that huge snowstorm we had, it was canceled and postponed. So if you need some more information on that, please go on the CCBC Essex website. And don't forget about Lace Up with Lax, an awesome event that's going down here at CCBC that you are not going to want to miss. Two teams are back out onto the field, and the Owls will take possession. And they're going to get a quick shot here as the Knights are out of position, and it costs them. TJ Ross was out of position there, and it cost his team a goal as the Owls quickly get that shot off. I think that was number 1, I believe, Greg Scatteruo. Number 20 for the Owls, which do not have a number 20 on my list, so thank you. So Mr. Stephen Gillespie is actually wearing number 20 instead of number 16. Nice move by him. Get that goal. That's his second goal of the game. That Owls goal was scored by number 20, Stephen Gillespie. Gillespie, a sophomore midfielder out of Bridgewater, New Jersey. And another injury out onto the field as an Owls player is down behind the cage. The whistle is blown, and the coaching staff and training staff will come out onto the field as the two teams take a knee. This is not a nice, forgiving turf out there this afternoon. It certainly looks beautiful, but when it gets cold out there, the turf gets cold too, and it's not a very forgiving surface to fall down onto, especially after a very physical, chippy contest like we've had so far. There's been lots of penalties here in this game, most of them going against the Knights, which is a surprise, especially the way the scoreboard looks right now. 8-7 is the score. 4 minutes and some change, 4 minutes and 1 second is all that separates these two teams from the ending of this game and the final whistle. Nolan Kent catches his pass from his teammate James Chase, and Malachi Terry's got 2 black jerseys coming around him. He outruns both of them and is still going. Finally gets that ball onto Shelfie's stick, and now the Knights going to take some time here on this possession, I'm sure. Could be walking out of here victorious. It's just by how much. Kamaria Wilkerson in the hat trick club Malachi Terry only 1 goal away, and so is that man right there, Rodney Pettit. I'm sure if you ask Pettit after the game, he believes he should have 4 or 5 goals because he's had some opportunities. Here's Clement also in that hat trick club, as well as Brandon Haynes for the Owls. Good possession here for the Knights as they try and take some time off the clock. And take as much time off the clock as they need. Maybe have the referee start the shot clock for him and then go to work. Wilkerson beat his defender and decided not to go for the shot. Instead, just came through the crease and went for the pass. 2 minutes and some change left here in this one. John Eden for the Knights played the first half in between the pipes, and then Nolan Kent played the second half. Two good outings for those gentlemen. John Eden, a great weekend for him, as he had some great saves in yesterday's game against Anne Arundel, and the shot clock has been turned off. It was turned off about 15 seconds ago, as there's only 15 seconds left on it now. TJ Ross can't catch that one, and he's going to watch it roll all the way past the midfield line, and now possession will be given to the Owls. So even though there was no shots on that possession for the Knights, that's one that they're going to be happy about, and this game will go back to a 10-point game as the Owls, number 15, Miles Ackerson gets his first goal. Another goal for the Owls. 1 minute and 46 seconds is all that separates these two teams from the final whistle, and the clock hitting triple zeros. 18-8 is now the score after Mr. Ackerson's goal. Miles Ackerson, sophomore attackman out of Hopewell, New Jersey. That Owls goal was scored by number 15, Miles Ackerson. The Knights have possession here, going for a long clear over to Rodney Pettit. And Pettit watches that ball into his stick, and now he's looking for his third goal. Instead, he goes for the behind-the-back pass over to Wilkerson. And that'll give the Owls another chance to get this game back into single digits. Just over a minute left. Here come the Owls behind the cage. Shot and saved by Nolan Kent. I think he swatted that one away. Under a minute left now, and the Owls will still have possession. The Owls with possession again. As that ball looked like it was going to roll past the midfield line. The Owls still looking to get that last goal, get it back down to single digits before this game's over, and I don't think that's going to happen, as that was probably their last shot of the game. Nolan Kent makes the save, and Malachi Terry is going to run things out. A good game for the Knights and the Owls. Lots of teachable moments, a lot of coachable moments, from Mr. Coach Rousey after this game. A good effort from both teams, and I want to thank you for joining us this weekend for exciting men's lacrosse action. We'll be back next week with more lacrosse action. I'm Aaron Thomas. Good afternoon and good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of this afternoon's contest. We thank you for joining us.